still want to get over, well, understanding what is a one frame, what is a one frame flick, what is a, like, what how do you do it and all this. Now I've got here an example on my YouTube and one of my streams. I did perform a one frame flick. Now this one, I don't get the kill, right? But this one is, it's accurate to target, and that's why I wanted to show it like this, because it has utility in game, and I know that it's, a lot of games it's not exactly usable to the extent that it is in, let's say, Call of Duty. One framing has more uses. In this game, one framing has more uses than in other games, for example. And I just wanted to show, I knew there was a guy around this right hand side, and I knew he was going to go for a peek somewhere over here. Now what I did in order to do that is, right now I was just messing around with my one frame. This is the thing. So he's doing the shooting, and then that right there. We go back and just go see again, and then snap. Now that right there is an example of a one frame. I go, if I can get it before the snap, so if I go here, I see the guy. Now I know most of where my movement on my mouse pad should be, so I move my mouse to a certain distance to know where I do this, and I do the one frame flick technique in order to perform this snap from target from target A, which is on nothing, to target B, which is on the player that I spotted, like so. Now right here, if you look closely enough, I do start tracking after that. Now this is something that takes a lot of track practice, and I can give some advice into how to track after it, but that'll be later, or maybe in another video. Right now this is just a basic example. But yeah, look, after that, I completely mess up the kill, no matter how many shots I hit, because this guy's a bit weird. A bit of a weird character. But anyway, that's an example there of a one frame flick, and right there is what I'm going to be teaching you to do, and I want to show you ways you can do it more effectively, and ways that in which it can be useful to you, or it can be useful to perform in different games. It's underutilized in my opinion, because if you can go from like, I'll find another part of this video where there's two people on my screen. Well, basically, so there's a player there, right? I don't one frame him. I aim smooth and I shoot. But if I could go, imagine this is a player, I go from target A to target B within a single frame. That would be much better than, for example, what I did, which was drag. I went, and because I did that, because I wasn't doing the one frame, and this shot in particular, because it's so small, it would be really hard to one frame onto. But if I had hit the one frame, I would have shot. I've been hitting her earlier, and I probably would have gotten away with this kill. I don't think I do, as far as I remember, or maybe I. Yeah, I don't. This is the thing, right here, where it's utilized is, if you get first shot accuracy with your one frame, you can shoot someone faster than they can see you as well. In for example, Call of Duty, I have another video to show. Alright, so this clip, while it's not the highest frames, it's another good example of a one frame. I know someone's over here shooting me, someone's in that direction, and now I aim down sights here, because I know that if I aim down sights, obviously it's Call of Duty, if you aim down sights, you can have your more precision, and I do it before the flick. So look, I hear the guy shooting me. Now that was a lucky flick, because I did not know where he was. I just aimed, tried to get a center, but I kind of predicted that it came through here, and it would be about here, because if he was down there, he probably wouldn't have reacted fast enough, or reacted that quickly to shoot me. It was more of a guess, but I was guessing he would have to come from this peak, because as far as I knew, I just came from this direction. And I looked here, there was no one here. So I snapped back round after I'm getting shot to look at this guy here, and I want to get the shot off on him. And because I do the one frame, I do the one frame technique. I don't hit a one frame. I do the one frame technique, and I hit the player on my first shot accuracy and look, I get the kill because of that. Now you can tell by all my screen being all like this that I was really low, but because I hit the one frame, I had the initial fire. So I didn't hit the one. It wasn't actually a one frame flick, but it was a fast flick using the one frame flick aim style. That I used the one frame flick aim style in order to snap to someone and kill them before they could kill me. And this is one of the situations in which one framing can be utilized. Now I've gone over a bunch of the reasons and a bunch of the things that one framing can, what a one frame is, certain ways it can be utilized. I can go in more in depth, but this is just a basic beginning of how to and what is the best ways to perform and execute it and reasons and what it is. So I'm going to switch over to showing you some techniques. Alright, so this part is the technique of the one frame flick. So right now I'll just tell you what the peripherals are. I'm using a G Pro Superlight with the SkyPad 3.0 XL. Now this is a very big pad and it's a hard pad, so you should hear, if I'm tapping, it makes a sound. It doesn't sound like a soft pad. Anyway, what I'm trying to say with that is, because I have a hard pad, it's much more easy for me to show with sound as well as with the technique to see what the actual flicks, flicks need to sound or look like. Now it's much easier for you to hear it through my microphone because I have a hard pad, which is, it's annoyed people on stream, but it's also helpful for me to explain this to people. So first of all, you want to look at the bottom of your mouse and you see where the sensor is. What you kind of want to do is, this is the best way I can explain it, in the best way I know that I can explain it in. You want to get your mouse sideways on your hand, well, and you don't want to do this, but you want to get your mouse and you want to get the sensor and you want to like kind of do that. But if you can do it from on the floor, do it from that. If you want to like do that, and then what you kind of want to do is, this is the best way that you can kind of explain it. You want to have half. You will try and get it so the flick has half the sensor on there. Therefore, it will glitch the sensor into a full stop. So if I go like that, so if you can try and lift it, so the wrist movement's kind of like a. Like imagine if you were painting and you were just doing a flick of a paint, right? It's like a paintbrush. It's like art. So you just want to like that. So with this, I'll do it a bit louder just so it's more obvious. But that's what I would have to do that more for long range flick, and it's going to be quite loud. So what I'm trying to show you here is this technique is just basically. Like, you know how you do a flick. So you want to have your mouse in this part of your hand and just try and keep it straight as possible for now. I normally play like this, slightly to the side, but that's because I got used to it. But put your mouse as straight as possible, and what you want to try and learn to do is just move it in up, down, left and right like this. You want to learn how to stop your mouse. You want to learn how to have this control of your mouse. So what you want to do is you want to do this. I'm using some of the fastest glides, a really light mouse, which is the super light. It's not the lightest mouse in the world, but it's a very light mouse. And I'm also using a very fast mouse pad. But you can always get this control over the stop. Now the way I do it, for example, is I use my palm on the back, and I use my pinky touching the pad, my thumb also touching the pad. Now this helps me with my stopping power, so I can just go like this. But the thing is, once you get this down, the ability to just stop your mouse as fast as you can. Because I use a slow sensitivity, this is really useful because I can just go, and then at the end of that, it's like, basically you want to, with a slow sense, you want to try and do it at the end of the flick, or you want to do it like stuff like that. But with the low sense is much harder to do a longer distance flick, so like you have to move your arm a lot quicker in a direction for the one frame to go to a certain space. It's a bit harder to do with lower sense, but it is possible. It's also, in my opinion, more precise. So lower sense people, you'll probably just be doing this. You're just moving your hand basically like that. So especially when you're wrist aiming, you'll be doing this or this. So in addition to all of this, what I want to say is I want to show you in game an example of this kind of flick style. So okay, now we're into the actual game. So now I wanted to show you examples of what it should look like. Now I've got my hand cam here, and I've also got it in game, so you can kind of see my arm movements when I'm doing this, and some of the distances might not correlate. So if I go like that, so if you want to go to this, wrist aimers will probably go like this. I go like, because I'm not an arm aimer, and you see the way my mouse is moving. It stops at a single location. Now, the way that people would normally flick is like this. So if I want to go like, oh, there's someone there, flick to there. The thing is, one framing, it's harder to be accurate with, but you can go bam, there, done. No mouse movement required. Stops at an instant location. Normal flicking, one frame flicking. Now, this is very useful and a very good thing because it's actually not very well known. Considering the uses of it, I say it's quite underused, underutilized. Now, one thing I will say is there is reasons for it. Now, the reasons are pretty big, to be honest with you. You have the reason of getting banned. Now, the reason why you can get banned from this is because you are moving from a location to another location, and if that hits a person, if you hit a person with that, if you hit a person with that flick, you go bam bam to another person, then of course people are going to be like, oh, cheats. So if I, for example, head to head, like bam, to another head, anyone who sees that, who doesn't know about one framing, even people who do know about one framing, those sort of things can look very suspicious. So if I just go like, oh, there's a guy there, bam, 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 like you can do it repeatedly over and over again if you're good enough at it. But the example of what I'm trying to tell, well, the thing of what I'm trying to tell you here is, you can get banned for cheating on a few games of this because of report systems kind of being wacky and stupid. And that's the risk versus reward of this. If you become good at it, you can get banned. But the reward is, you know your clips are legit. A lot of people, if you get a community around you and you get people who know you, you can have people who know you who know you're not cheating. And even if the people that you know are accusing you of cheating, as long as you have never cheated in the past, if you've never cheated like this, and as long as you know you are not cheating, you should never be banned. Like, you can be, and it is very possible that you will be. But if you know you're not cheating, then all your clips will be very impressive with the one frame between targets, and you will know yourself that I'm doing this legit. Look at my improvement over time. I really, like, you can see that, oh, this looks like cheats, but yeah, it's very impressive. Just be aware of the risks. You need to make sure you're doing it correctly, and one thing I will say, if your one framing doesn't necessarily look like me, because I have a specific aim style anyway. But yeah, I have a specific aim style anyway. This is my normal aim style, and this is my one frame aim style. Now, because my aim style is like this, I'm very good at horizontal movements, such as 180 degree flicks. I'm pretty good at them. But the reason for that is because of Overwatch more than anything else, which is a game I don't like anymore. Smells. Anyway, besides that, if your one framing doesn't necessarily look like this, there is very different ways that people's aim can look, even when they're one framing. So some people's aim might be one framing, but might be like more sticky. So like, I don't know how to explain it, but other people's aim might be very different to mine with one framing, and that's fine. As long as it's a one frame, it can be very impressive. And the reason why I want to get this light is because I often get called a cheater for many of the stuff that I do in games, and that's my goal. That for me personally, I aim to be called a cheater because it makes me feel better. But what I will say is, the risks of that almost outweigh the reward in some ways, depending on how good you get at it. If you don't want to have to waste money on rebuying games in order to play them again, I would recommend not spamming this. But what I will recommend is learning it either way, because even if you don't get the technique down for a one frame, then you'll be fine. It doesn't make a difference. You just have you at least have the ability to snap between targets, which is great. Now, thank you everyone for watching. This is one of the first videos I've done like this. I'm not sure if I've done a good job or not. Tried to be as informative as I can. There will be more videos to come on this topic, such as I will tell you some ways to practice it and tell you some ways in which that you can improve this pretty quickly through Kovacs, Aim Lab, through that Apex practice thing I just showed you there. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this has helped people who don't understand how to do one frames and help them learn and understand in a bit more of a way that how this is possible and how to do this in a more effective way. I hope that I have helped you in that way and hope you learn all that. In addition to all of this, I really hope that I can teach more people this and teach better in the future on these sort of things. There will always be the server down in my description of my channel, and it's just it's not the best made server, but it's a server there that you can find my Discord account. You can just go and DM me and ask me any questions. I won't be able to answer them all, but I'll try my best to answer any that I can. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked, obviously like. If you didn't like, then obviously don't like or dislike. It's up to you. You guys want to sub, go ahead and sub. It's all appreciated and it all supports the channel if that's what you want to do. Obviously, if you don't do so. I'm fine with that. But thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next videos, and well, not much more to say other than goodbye.